Before update 10.3, the TVP was the most played tier 10 medium in the game. It had 1.35 million battles played. In fact, it was the second most popular tank in the entirety of Blitz. That is absolutely insane, and it showcases just how busted and popular the vehicle was. It went from literally being one of the biggest underdogs and least ground and played lines to instantly shooting up to basically the most popular line behind the FV2 and 5B183. Now my guess is that in the latest update of 10.3, where Wargaming nerfed this vehicle a decent chunk, you're going to see those numbers drastically decrease. Is it a good thing that the numbers are going down? Yes. I don't want to run into TVP players every single game I play. However, is the vehicle actually nerfed? That is the question we're going to be uncovering in today's video. In my opinion, no, not really, but I'll be explaining why. Let's take a look at the changes that occurred to the vehicle to begin with. DPM is basically the same. It went from 2,528 base to 2,514. Ooh boy, you lost 14 total damage per minute. That's not a problem at all. It lost 10 damage per shot, which again, isn't a problem at all. It goes from 1240 clipping potential to 1200. That's still a lot, enough to completely ruin whatever opponent's days you have in front of you. So yeah, clipping damage, all that DPM basically stayed the same. And that is because even though the vehicle has a longer intraclip now at 1.9 seconds compared to 1.5, the vehicle also has a shorter reload going from 25 seconds to 23. So essentially they even themselves out. However, obviously I'd rather have the faster intraclip than a faster reload. The 0.38 second nerf to the shell intervals is going to hurt it in certain situations, because that is going to take you around 1.2 seconds longer to get the shells out. Instead of being 4.5 seconds, it's going to be now 5.6 seconds to get all of the shells. So that is quite a substantial chunk of added on time. It's about 30%, meaning that in positions where you're up against a vehicle that would not have been able to get maybe that final blow into your vehicle to finish you off, now they might be able to. So that is something you'll have to keep in mind, but again, 5.6 seconds is still incredibly fast. That's the same dumping time as a bat chat, and that's only 0.6 seconds longer than a T-57 Heavy to deal the exact same damage, but with a much more mobile, flexible tank. So I really think it's still completely fine. It used to be 2 seconds when the vehicle was quite balanced, so yeah, I still think it's more than a fast enough dumping time. The dispersion nerf is definitely the biggest hit in my opinion, going from 0.326 to 0.345. But you'll notice the on-movement dispersion did not change. So if you just run Refined Gun on the vehicle, you will not only have great dispersion still, but you'll also have fantastic on-move dispersion. Engine power got nerfed slightly, going from 820 to 780. That's 40 in total, which barely really changed. It went from an effective power to weight of 25 to 24. Ooh. So yeah, it really didn't do much there. The reverse speed got a teeny bit worse from 20 to 17. Again, it's not really going to change much because that's still plenty fast to get back in the cover. Even with the mobility nerfs, we can see the vehicle still has an effective power to weight on hard terrain of 32 and on medium terrain 28, which places it 8th out of the 17 mediums. That's still middle of the pack, making it plenty fast for the majority of situations you get stuck in. You can also see running Refined Gun, you're going to have 0.287 dispersion, which is really accurate, especially when you pair that with fantastic aiming time and, as I said, decent on-movement dispersion values. The vehicle overall is just accurate, it's got great aiming time, it's still got all the things you'd want, so just put on Refined Gun and you should be completely fine. So now that we've covered all of the bases, we break into the gameplay. Both games we will be taking a look at today are not from my account. Unfortunately, I cannot access my NA account for the next month because Wargaming didn't like my CS63 video. So all of the 10.3 tank reviews of the tier 10s I haven't reviewed yet will most likely be done from my friend Q Fox here, and I'll just be going over the replays and telling you how the tank plays off of his opinions and as well mine watching the gameplay. I watched him play about 8 or 10 games today, got a good feel for how the tank plays, and yeah, I'm gonna be real, the tank plays exactly the same as it did before. I mean, for example, you're gonna see a cron over this ridge, and Q Fox is just gonna drive right over this ridge. You'll see the mobility's still fine, very good on the TVP, and he's gonna get 1, 2, 3, and because the cron had dumped his clip, 4 shells, dealing 12 130 damage in a matter of 5.6 seconds. Do you see how fast this vehicle can dump its shells out? It is still absolutely insane how quickly the TVP accumulates damage. And because the vehicle has a 2-second faster reload, it now means you can just start shooting faster. So, I mean, here we go. Q-Fox is now behind a T110 E3. Gets 1 shell, 2 shells, and 3. Just like that, the E3's dead. Is the TVP over here? No. I actually thought the TVP was here the first time I looked at the replay because it was spotted here, but it turns out the TVP ran all the way over to the other side of the factory. But that's fine. Q-Fox is up to 2,000 damage at this point, and that's already a very solid chunk just with 2 clips in the beginning of the game. But oh, look at that, all the free farm. Well, obviously, we're going to shoot at the TVP over the U100, so there's 2 shells and a 3rd shell into the U100. Q-Fox is not reloading the clip because he gets his final shell into the Caro. Not too bad. Just like that, 3,376 damage. Yeah, 3 clips from this vehicle, and it's 3,400 damage. That's still insane. Now, I'm actually surprised Q-Fox got spotted here. I'm not exactly sure what spotted him. It must have been the Caro. But yeah, that didn't really make sense to me when watching this. I still don't really understand what spotted him. But Q-Fox is going to go wide here. He takes 1 shot from the Caro, and at this point, he's definitely not detected. So he probably knows this, pokes the Caro, and finishes him off. E100's on the side. Unfortunately, the first shell misses, but the second one and 3rd one both indeed hit. 4,288 damage have been dealt in this battle, and unfortunately, the enemy is going to die before any more can be dealt, but still, a great example of how the TVP literally feels, plays, and looks exactly the same as it did in Update 10.2. The vehicle feels just as mobile, the tank still dumps its shells very fast, and it hurts. It still does 1,200 damage. So overall, an incredibly easy game from the TVP. Even the Batchat would not have been able to deal as much damage in this type of game because it just wouldn't have been able to get the clips out as much. The damage itself in the clips isn't as much. It doesn't have as much, you know, hull down capabilities because it has less gun depression. Just the TVP is still an incredibly solid vehicle. So let's go back to my replays and take a look at the second game, which this time is played on Himmelsdorf. Now this game is a pretty stock standard one for the TVP. Again, not a crazy high damage battle. I picked 2 games out of the 8 or so that were sent in, some of which were upwards of 6k damage, just because I felt like it would be a better example to showcase the kind of just decent battles the TVP is still able to pull out, rather than the ones where you go up against a bunch of doofuses. So what do we have up against us this game? Well, we got a M48 Patton, who I think Q-Fox hit the hatch of there. I don't think he was aiming at the hatch, but he hit it. Okay, well, we got a Caro, an E4, oh boy, and yeah, that doesn't look like a lot of fun. Right now, Q-Fox does not have a lot of support, only being a standard B, as his light tank is not really near him. So he's going to run off to the side over here, and well, yeah, he's just going to kind of see if there's anybody around him. But that's fine. Q-Fox is going to reload the clip, and it doesn't look like the mediums are going to rush him. But we do see a T-54 right in front. And this T-54, I'm really not sure what this guy's doing. He's going to YOLO the Batchat. And why would you YOLO 2 autoloaders? That is the worst move you can ever make. So the 54 gets shot once, twice, and is dead. I mean, that was actually the saddest thing I've ever seen. Now, Q-Fox has 2 shells left. Is he going to reload the clip? Well, I wouldn't say so, because there are 2 vehicles that can very easily be shot. We got the Caro off to the side. Can't get another shell into the Caro, but good shot focusing. And then the Batchat drives a teeny bit in the way, but another easy shell into the enemy 752. Just like that, 1,500 damage has been picked up, and not a bad result so far. We can see with this faster reload of the TVP, you feel a little bit more comfortable, even when going up against an auto reloader like the Caro. Pretty impressive shot, to be honest, from that player. I'm very surprised that Q-Fox got hit by that. But here's a great example of how the TVP is still insane. That's 2, 3, and even though the Caro does get out the 3rd shell, the TVP is able to dump 4 shells faster than the Caro gets out 3, even though the Caro got 1 of the shells out way before Q-Fox even made the push. With that, we're now up to 2,600 damage dealt in this game, and there's still 1 vehicle left at full health. The TVP has 800 hit points left, which means we can very easily roll to the side of the E4, and Q-Fox is going to clip the side of him. There's 1, 2, and a 3, And is he gonna get the fourth one? Yes, he does. Now, unfortunately, Q-Fox does die. The DPM of the E4 is absolutely insane, especially with Adrenaline on. I just noticed that player's running Adrenaline and Speed Boost. An interesting choice for a vehicle that has one repair kit, I guess. But hey, Q-Fox was still able to deal 3,800 damage in this battle. And the reason I picked this game is, again, because it showcases just how easy it is to deal over 3,000 damage in the TVP. Even with the changes, to me, the vehicle still feels and looks exactly the same as it did previously. The tank still gets out the damage very fast, it still has mobility. It's an incredible tank. There's going to be a lot of people that only played the TVP because it was broken. And those people are going to be very wrong on the belief that it's going to be ruined now. They're going to stop playing it because, oh, it's not good anymore. That happened to the Emil 1 as well. I remember the Emil 1 was the most played tier 8 in the game, and then Wargaming nerfed it slightly, and there were so many players that thought that nerf was going to ruin the tank, even though the main things like the DPM, the gun, and the armor really were never changed. It was just the mobility and a slight bit of accuracy, and that's the same thing with the TVP. This vehicle is still incredible. It's still one of the strongest tier 10s. Whether you choose to believe that or not is entirely up to you. But I can definitely say that it is incredible. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.